coming out to the sunroof wearing a mask and holding an AK-47.
Yeah.
He aimed at the crowd and started letting off multiple shots. Everyone scattered. The intended target was...
Yo, what it do? It's your boy Buck Breeze, Mr. No Slacking himself. No slacking and ball. That shit is bad for your health. You know the vibes, man. Tap on in with your boy. Yo, what's really good? How y'all feeling out there today, yo? Word up. Yo, got a dope one for y'all today. So, you know, I fucks with motherfucking YFN Lucci hard. You know what I'm saying? You know, he home. Free to God. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Welcome home, my guy. All that good shit. So, yo, this is the whole joint, though, right here of his man Nut when Nut got murdered and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, somebody sent me this and said, yo, you should do a reaction on this. You know what I'm saying? Because they know I fuck with the guy and all that. So, yeah, anyway, this is the barbershop hit Donovan Nut. You know what I'm saying? That happened or whatever. And I guess Lil Woody being interrogated in this shit at the same time, I think. But yeah, let's tap into this. You know, time is money, man. We can't get $1 back.
What stood out about the car you saw? I mean, in terms of what drew your attention to it?
It slow rolled across, and first thing, it creeping across. Like on Boys, you watching Boys, anybody seen Boys in the Hood, you know it's a drive-by.
Were you able to get out anything before?
I tried to get it out before I get ready to tell them drive-by.
I'll make sure that y'all can see that good right there, too. Man. That whole
car you saw. I mean, in terms of what drew your attention to it?
It slow rolled across, and first thing, it creeping across. Like on Boys, you watching Boys, anybody seen Boys in the Hood, you know it's a drive-by.
Were you able to get out anything before?
I tried to get it out before I get ready to tell them drive-by. They was already at the one, at the T, at the on.
Like nobody got hit though.
He had a chopper with the mask over his face.
When that car got closer to
somebody still
where
shooting?
Peanut was standing, was there more or less shots?
All the shots.
Really good.
A humble soul, man. We checking back in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already tapped in with us. Hit the like button, man, if you messing with the content, you enjoy the video. Let's get into it, man. 100.
I met Nut through my partner, Shell Kell. He just used to tell me, like, boy, Nut love you, boy. That's all they be listening to. Like, you gotta come over here and meet him, bro. They gonna love you. You know, he cared about everybody. Like, even if, you know, everybody not just that good person, but everybody got something they good at. And whatever you were good at, he still believed in you. You smell me? Like,
Donovan Thomas Jr., also known as Peanut or Nut, was a son, father, brother, a big homie for his set. Before his death, he was managing artists like Rich Homie Quan and YFN Lucci, you know, from the club.
I ain't know that. No, he was managing motherfuckers. I thought he was just one of the homies in the hood, and he just happened to be mad cool with YFN.
Clubs to the hoods throughout Atlanta. He was well loved, respected, and connected. And he had aspirations to leave the streets and become successful in the music industry. But before he was able to make a real transition from the trenches, he was gunned down outside of a barbershop in Southwest Atlanta.
Yeah, I know this is supposed to be the whole beef. Saying with supposedly Young Thug who did this shit, you know what I'm saying? Allegedly. You know what I mean? That's the reason why Woody was on the stand interrogated, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Tap in.
For the developing story, Atlanta police are on the scene of a triple shooting, and one of the victims is a teenager. The shooting happened outside a barber shop, and tonight one victim is clinging to life.
Atlanta police are investigating why two men in their mid-20s and a 14-year-old boy were shot outside of a barber shop in Southwest Atlanta Saturday night.
Right now, it doesn't appear that they had anything connection to the business. They were just kind of hanging out, is what we appear.
Investigators say it appears to have been a drive-by shooting, and according to several witnesses we spoke with, an automatic weapon was used.
On the evening of January 10th, 2015, Nut, along with his brother, father, and a few others, was supposed to meet up at a sports bar and grill on Memorial Drive in Atlanta to watch a playoff game. Nut never made it though. Before going to the bar, he had stopped by the barbershop on McDaniel Street to get a haircut. After getting his haircut, he ended up posting up outside of the Hair Unlimited barbershop, chopping it up with friends and smoking in the parking lot. But something still felt off. Something was in the air. While Nut and dozens of other people were standing out in the parking lot, a gray Infiniti drove past slow. A guy ended up coming out to the sunroof wearing a mask and holding an AK-47.
Yeah.
He aimed at the crowd and started letting off multiple shots. Everyone scattered. The intended target was Nut. They ended up shooting him multiple times as he tried to run for cover inside of the barbershop. The people inside the shop had already locked the doors as they ducked for cover on the floor. He managed to let off a few rounds from his pistol at the shooters before they fled the scene. He wasn't the only one hit during the drive-by. 2 other people were wounded as well. One of them was a guy named Reginald Hendricks, who had been a longtime friend of Nut. He was hit in the lower back. The other victim was a 14-year-old boy named Tiger. He caught a shot to the leg. All 3 of them were transported to Grady Hospital for surgery, but Nut didn't survive his injuries.
Morning, the search is on for the person who shot 3 people, including a 14-year-old. 1 man died. Channel 2 Steve Gelbach is live at Grady Memorial Hospital. Steve, investigators say they don't have a motive, but they don't believe this shooting was random.
I did hear back from Atlanta police in the last half hour by email. Said there's really not an update on this case yet, but they do confirm it is a homicide investigation. All 3 victims, including a 14-year-old, were brought here to Grady Memorial Hospital, and 26-year-old Donovan Thomas was in the most serious condition, and the medical examiner's office confirmed he did not survive.
Had a significant injury. We had at least multiple gunshot in the upper torso area. He was rushed to surgery.
Thomas died at the hospital. Homicide detectives looked for bullet holes and brought in a police canine to search for more shell casings. They believe it was a drive-by shooting.
I used to tell Nut, like, bro, they killing cool niggas. The cool niggas always die. The fuck niggas don't never get killed. Niggas who everybody don't be liking and all that shit like that, they'll never die. But all the niggas who be cool with everybody in Woodwood, that's who seem like be getting killed.
It wasn't too long after Nut's death that rumors started to circulate that this was a gang-related shooting, and YSL, a subset of the Bloods, popularized by Young Thug, was responsible for the hit. Kenneth Copeland, better known by his nickname Woody, sat down with the Atlanta police in 2015 and revealed what he knew about Nut's death. He confirmed that Thug was behind the hit and had drove past the barbershop and saw Nut standing outside shortly before swapping vehicles with 4 other YSL members so they could slide back through and handle business.
So who's in the car? That's supposed to be
Woody, y'all. Look, this is Woody back in the day, y'all. Get interrogated after that shit happened.
I don't think that. This was Latif broke the story down. He said, I think he was in the car, leaving the sky. And he said, they rolled past the scene, nothing, standing outside. They went somewhere and changed clothes. Nah, that's what it was. I dropped Shandy D out the door house. I had went home with my baby mom. And then Doug them left and rolled past nothing and seen him and went to a gas station and seen Yet and his partner. What gas station? Let me come to which gas station? I just listened to the story, so they seen them, they switched cars at the gas station. Doug got in the car with the girl. Doug and I think the D. They got in the car with the girl. And there were 4 left in the car. Yeah, Shannon, Nod.
Snitching his ass off.
And Tupac, they Yet partner. Them 4 got in the car. You know what I'm saying? They just rolled past the shot. And then after it happened, they all pull up on Cleveland. And Ladina right there, they just got in the car like they talking about it. So they got the guns. I think they had 2 guns. A chopper and a handgun. They got the guns and put it in the car. And they just bent and rolled off in the car. Do you know what kind of car it was? Like, it was an Infiniti, I think. The Infiniti? Yeah. Like a new one? Do you know, was it somebody's registered car or was it a rental? It was a rental car.
Where do they usually rent the cars from?
The airport.
You know, like Hertz Enterprise?
I know which store when he went to come. That's what I'm saying. Which one was it? At the airport. You stay at the airport, there's different rental cars. I don't know which one it was. So you went with Thug when he rented the Infinity? Yeah. Nah, he took her vet back and got the Infinity. He took the vet back and got.
I'm gonna tell y'all though, this don't look like Woody just telling them what they want to hear. Let him go. This shit look like he's snitching like a motherfucker.
Yeah, you remember how long before the murder that was? Probably like the murder happened like probably 2 days later, and then shit like that.
At one point in time, they were all cool, you know, Nut, Thug, and other members of YSL.
Nigga, I got one of the biggest bloods in America with me, my nigga. You did. Atlanta, Georgia, nigga. You get what I'm trying to tell you? That we like, big shout out to Birdman, nigga, YMCMB, Rich Gang, YSL for life, you know what I'm saying? $1 million niggas, nigga. We real $1 million. $1 million blood, $1 million goons and shit, nigga.
Free who? Don't take them all. Free who?
Around 2014, Nut was involved in the music game, serving as the manager for Rich Homie Quan, as well as YFN Lucci, two people also said to be members of the same gang he represented, the Inglewood Family Gangster Bloods. Focusing on Rich Homie in particular, you know, at the time he was collaborating on a lot of music with Young Thug as part of Birdman's Rich Gang collective, but Quan never actually signed any paperwork. Nut was reportedly the middleman, making sure Rich Homie didn't ink a bad deal that would halt his career too. Around this time, Nut had flew out to places like Cali and Miami to link up with Birdman, and it appeared that they had a solid relationship. But after a while, things changed.
It's not really Rich Homie Quan, it's Mr. Thomas, Donovan Thomas. And what the state's trying to say is that, for the court's edification, I believe this is what they're saying, Mr. Thomas is trying to be the manager of Rich Homie Quan. Mr. Thomas doesn't want Rich Homie Quan to sign with a man named Mr. Brian Williams, who's Birdman. Jeffrey Williams is not signed with Brian Williams, Birdman. And somehow Jeffrey Williams doesn't like the fact that Donovan Thomas won't let Rich Homie Quan sign with an independent person. So Jeffrey Williams has him killed.
You know, Vlad revealed in an interview with DJ Academics that he had talked to Rich Homie Quan about Nut's death.
No, that make a lot of sense right there, though. When you think about everything, all this shit boiled down, how Rich Homie Quan ain't here no more, like, all that shit make a lot of sense, man, like, if you think about that.
He said that they had a FaceTime conversation, and while they were talking, you know, Quan pretty much confirmed that Nut's death was centered around him not wanting to sign paperwork to be an official part of Rich Gang.
You don't think Thug is responsible for none of the turmoil that happened, that he was alleged?
Oh, I know he's responsible for some of the turmoil, because I've had conversations with people off the record about this shit. A lot of people covered up for him. A lot of people covered.
Maybe Rich Homie Quan still wasn't trying to be a part of it after that. That's the reason why.
Covered up for him. Best believe. And I've talked about my conversation with Rich Homie Quan before he died. I was going to take this one to the grave, but he died.
Yeah.
So I'm able to talk about it. But like with Quan, George Cheedy had brought up in our last interview that this whole thing was about Quan not wanting to sign
to Birdman,
to Young Thug or whatever else.
Rich Gang.
And they started to pressure him, and Nut got in the middle of it, and this whole situation was over that. And there was paperwork that was going to be brought up in court specifically over that, and George Cheedy sent me the paperwork. I said, I'm not going to put this out because me and Quan are cool. I did his first interview, so let me just talk to him about it. So I called him up. I'm like, yo, I got something important to talk to you about. He's like, all right, let's FaceTime. I'm like, cool, let's do that. And I'm like, listen, like, this is what I found out. This is what was mentioned in the interview. I'm cutting this part out. But they're saying that this whole thing was about you not wanting to sign, to Young Thug or Rich Gang or whatever. And then this is ultimately what led to, Nut getting killed. And he said, yeah, that's true. He said, that's true. He said, and if I had signed to them, I'd be in jail with the rest of them.
What's the relationship with Quan, with Rich Homie?
No, we don't have no problem.
Okay. I don't think we gonna be. I don't think we can be like how we used to be.
Right.
He already did. He already just did some bullshit. He already know my heart. So it's like, once you just, I'm too pure. So once you just,
Cross that line.
yeah, you do that. It's like, no. I forgive. I always forgive. If I kill a person, I pray to God that He forgive me. If I do something to a person, I pray I get forgiveness. So I always forgive. I don't ever hold grudges on nobody. I forgive everybody.
7 years after Nut's death in May of 2022,
Boy said if he killed somebody, pray that they give him.
Young Thug, Gunna, and more than 20 other members of YSL were indicted and accused of violating Georgia's anti-racketeering law. The indictment said Thug co-founded YSL and painted a picture of YSL being a violent street gang that committed multiple murders, shootings, carjackings, etc.
Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Lamar Williams, is one of 28 defendants charged in a sweeping 56-count indictment against the criminal street gang Young Slime Life, also known as YSL. The charges ranging from conspiracy to violate the Georgia criminal racketing law, murder, armed robbery, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, also named Sergio Kitchens, who performs under the name Gunna. This investigation has been going on for months, and take a look at this. This is that 88-page indictment, 56 charges ranging from murder, armed robbery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Of course, those two rap superstars, the headliners on this indictment, but the top prosecutor here in Fulton County says this indictment will help get gang members off the street who she says are responsible for 80% of the violence we see in Metro Atlanta.
Nut's murder was a main focus of the YSL trial. At least 4 alleged members of YSL were charged in connection to his death. Although Woody had admitted to law enforcement in 2015 that YSL was responsible for the murder of Nut, during trial, he said everything he told them was a lie. He said that he made the story up about Thug's connection to Nut's murder so he could avoid going back to jail for a long period of time.
Why did you ask for Thug to pay your bond after you had told on them in the June 10th interview?
I didn't tell on them.
Okay.
I was
What y'all think? Sound like he told it to me.
going through a phase in my life, like I told you before, and I told you in the back. I made it all up. Like I told y'all, I made it up. I put it on him.
Okay.
I'm not scared of nobody. Nobody forced me to say none of this stuff. This is not right.
It was a few things mentioned during the
Shit he made up. No accurate.
YSL trial, specifically as it relates to Woody. One being Woody admitting that he was one of the people who shot up Rich Homie Quan's father's barbershop. He said he did it to send a message because Quan was beefing with his homie Threat. And he said in retaliation for that, one of Nut's homies, a guy by the name of Shell Kill, shot up a gambling spot that YSL was known to hang at, and also shot up Young Thug's car, among other things. He said they ran into each other at the Cascade skating rink, which is when he pulled out a gun on Shell Kill, but he decided not to shoot him. They ended up running into each other after that at a spot called Club Crucial, where Shell Kill and some others jumped Woody before other members of YSL got involved and started letting off shots. Something else, man, that was mentioned during the YSL trial is that Woody had went into Nut's truck and took a custom Planters Peanut Man chain he had, along with his wallet and his phone, back in late 2014. He actually said that when Nut called his phone, he answered and agreed to meet up with him to give him his belongings back. That incident is what allegedly led to Nut wanting him hurt in retaliation. Something else pointed out during the trial was that on Father's Day of 2019, Nut's mom visited his grave site and saw it had been vandalized and spray painted with the word slat in green, a word known to be used by members of YSL.
Damn. That's some shit right there. That's some disrespectful shit right there.
SLAT is supposed to be an acronym for Slime Love All the Time. Fast forward to October of 2024, Young Thug in particular was set free on probation after he pleaded guilty to multiple gang, drug, and gun charges.
The total sentence is 40 years to serve the first 5 years in prison, but commuted to the time that you have already served, followed by 15 years on probation, followed then by the backloaded 20 years, which can be served in custody and will be served in custody if you are not successful on your probation. If you are successful in completing your 15 years probation, that will be commuted to time served.
You know, Nutt's family has yet to receive justice in the courtroom and still continues to feel the pain of his loss years later. You know, was he killed over a music deal? Was it about power? Or was he simply a casualty of a much deeper war? What we do know is this: Nutt left behind a family, friends, and a city that still remembers him.
Man, I wanted to switch gears real quick though. You had mentioned, so you said that you knew.
Oh shit.
You knew.
This Curtis Snow, y'all remember him? God damn, he look a little crazy now, but that's remember who did the movie Snow on the Bluff some years ago. Yeah.
Nutt too.
Man,
OG, Big
University is be set apartments like a project complex. You know, just like the rest of the projects, you know, boom, it was a project. It called University Homes, right up by the college. Matter of fact, this shit was down there on college campus because the apartment's right here and the college right there. So
I ain't never seen that movie, Snow on the Bluff, man. Go check it out. It's a good movie. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's a true story or not. When it first came out, it was supposed to be a true story, but this is him now.
all day you got college students walking back and forth to them dorms.
Probably don't want to see the movie, seeing him now.
You couldn't go through that way and say Nut name without goddamn somebody like who by who. Nut, the man. Children buying bikes and shit on Christmas, getting them to the neighborhood. I'm talking about coming through, paying motherfucker rent. I'm talking about goddamn really taking care of folks. You know, the good guy. One of them niggas, you know, he did his thing, whatever, but he looked that. You ain't really had nothing bad to say about him, but what you thought you knowed about him. You know, I hate to be like, yeah, no nothing, has nothing to do with. Oh, man, get the fuck on. He did more good than overweight is bad. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, in the good and the bad game, you got to do good, 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 bad, 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 good, 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 bad, bad.
He's speaking facts, though.
Bad, good, good, good. The good got to overweigh the bad. You know what I'm saying? You gonna do whatever you do, but your good got to overweigh it. Because if it don't, and all they saying, oh boy, bad, 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 bad. Well, he did goddamn bad, bad, bad. You know, he bad, bad, bad. Oh, hell no, he ain't no good way. Nut, he good overweight is bad. But it was like, you got them haters, you know, they lurking. Just as many people say they love you, fuck with you, that same amount of, man, that nigga, man. Some shit he did 10 years ago, I'm still mad about that. You know what I mean? It's just them type of people walking around in the street nowadays. And half people ain't got no soul. That soul shit gone out the window, man. So, you know, when the heat get on, or when some niggas feel like, oh shit, they doing more than me, or I'm doing more than them, or some motherfuckers who gonna be down with you, but they ain't competition with you, you don't know it. But they goddamn it right there with you every 5 minutes around you or whatever. They ain't doing that, but goddamn it, you know, figuring the move out, or goddamn it, it's a real plot. You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that. But, you know, shit happens.
Fact, man.
Man, rest in peace to Donovan, Nut Thomas. Be sure.
Up, man, for real. Yo, jump in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think of this, man. I mean, shit's crazy. That whole beef shit was wild out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure they lost people on both sides. You know what I'm saying? So condolences, you know what I'm saying, to the families that was really affected in this shit. Because, you know, shit get real, man. When he's on, shit get real. You know what I'm saying? Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about it. All right, it's your boy, man, Buck Brace. Mr. No Slacking himself. No slacking involved. That shit is bad for your health. You know the vibes, man. Tap on in, man. Get it.